This has to be a difficult thing for any children involved in this. Obviously, Diddy has several. We've seen them in the birthday party tapes. We've seen them throughout time, and they are all standing by their dad. But let's talk about that now because there's other kids involved in this now on the side of Jay-Z and Beyonce. Um, how do the children process information like this when accusations are being made about their parents? Not going into the validity of any of it being true or not, just somebody makes these accusations against your dad. I mean, what's the next thing? Like, how do kids handle something like that?
It's horrible for kids, absolutely horrible, because they identify, as we all do when we're kids, identify with their parents. Their parents have everything to do with who they are. And so there's this tremendous sense of shame around it. And you know that other kids that they associate with are going to be aware of it. There's going to be some kind of teasing that goes on, often a lot of that, social shunning. And as far as how they get through it, um, not well. I don't think there's anything we can do other than you try to shield them from the media as much as possible. But it's a long road. And then, of course, depending on the culture and the family, sometimes the kids have already acclimated to a parent's criminal behavior, and therefore, they're gonna grow up and replicate it.
Yeah, pure speculation here, but what does it say about the character of a person who does surround themselves with people like this? I mean, Jay Z and Diddy are not the only ones. Diddy is specifically not the only one who Jay Z has surrounded himself with over time. Looking back, R. Kelly, obviously another character who is now in prison for his crimes, but also involving young people, people who were not willing to participate in what was going on. Some were of adult age, some were not. Um, and I mean, literally, the guy had an album with him, like I think they even had two. The Best of Both Worlds is what it was called. And then they went on tour together, which ended abruptly. Apparently, some sort of a scuffle or disagreement. But I mean, that's a pretty big connection. It's not just you did a. I mean, I get celebrities that end up doing duets with people. It's for the job of what you do. Like Celine Dion did a song with R. Kelly. I don't think Celine Dion is out there raping children. But you have kind of a tight relationship there. Someone who has a horrible track record. You have another one with another character, Diddy here, and God knows if there's anybody else. But it certainly doesn't look good by any means. And these are all things in the past. Is it reasonable to think that if Jay Z was just doing his job, which was being a rapper at the time, creating music, creating entertainment in pieces, that he wouldn't have any idea that these people were up to what they were up to, especially R. Kelly, because at the time of those albums, there was already one of his cases was already done. We'd already seen the video that had come out of him with a young woman, I think a child actually, in his basement in front of his Soul Train award. That was public knowledge. It was shopped around in the 90s before YouTube and everything. So there was a lot of information that maybe this guy's into kids or inappropriate things,
Oh, yeah.
and you still connect up and you do all these things with him. I mean, I get people out there to make money. R. Kelly was still a superstar after that video, believe it or not, to anybody who wasn't around at that time. It took another lawsuit to take him down, but he chose to be around somebody like that. That to me is like a pretty big deal. I mean, that's a maneuver, that's a choice you made to continue a relationship with someone like that. Not saying he knew much or knew anything, but it's certainly questionable. I mean, any of us in our professional work, if a colleague that formerly had a good reputation and then didn't, and there was things like this, I don't think any of us would be lining up going, yeah, let's collaborate with that person. It's that to me is a real baffling and a damning thing against Jay-Z, even more than at this point, I would say Diddy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And you hit the word with money. I think it's money, fame, power, and just an utter lack of integrity. And I think it says something about our culture that these are the people we make famous.
Mhm.
I once worked in a group practice where there was person who was a mental health clinician and he was writing hot checks around town. I
Yeah.
left. It's like, I do not want my name on the door with somebody who lacks honesty and integrity. And it would be interesting to know if there were celebrities over time who became aware of this behavior and said, I don't want anything to do with that guy. You know,
Yeah.
those are the people we can respect, but certainly not the ones who must have had some awareness and chose to still affiliate with him for personal gain.
Well, R. Kelly, I mean, everybody knew what was going on there. I mean, you're making a calculated risk if you're going to collaborate with somebody, make an album with somebody, go on a tour with somebody. You're calculating that risk, going, I believe that this is done, and there's no more that's going to come out about this person, or that this is going to be enough money, and this is going to be more beneficial to me than the negative side of that. That does not seem like it was a risk that paid off in any stretch of imagination here for Jay Z and R. Kelly. We all know that from years ago, but again, he made that choice. Is it
Yes.
just money? Which it could be. It could have just been, this is a good money making opportunity and I'm going to take it. Risks be damned. But I
Hmm.
mean, I mean, this is, cause and effect. There is,
Hmm.
repercussions to your choices and actions, whether or not you were actively doing anything horrible with these people or not.
Yeah, 100% guilt by association, and if you have integrity, you get away from people who do things like this.
Yeah, like they want to have to explain to their daughter about these accusations and how people are out to get money and this and that. How about you explain why were you doing a tour with a child predator for several years of your life when she was, I don't think she was even born yet, or she was very young. Explain that aspect and why daddy did those things. Let's not just go immediately to the victims or the person who's claiming they're a victim is wrong. Why don't we explain our life choices a little bit and how daddy got into this position to begin with?
100%. 100%. Yep.
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Bruschi, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.